Richard Pitt, you know, you've been one of the what's the right word for it? One of the stalwarts of the people I've known in the last 25 years. So let me ask you bring up something else. I introduced you to my friend David Hancock, and we did computers for him, and we had a big fight over computers, and we had David Hancock's business hooked up in 1987, and you had started putting all his book titles, 400 book titles, onto what became the Internet.
Yes.
And in 1987, so far as we know, David was likely David should have been Amazon.com.
He could have been Amazon.com.
But turned off his computer turned off his internet connection because somebody on an airplane told him that this was dangerous.
That somebody could hack into his computer.
Somebody was dangerous. So
yep.
Anyway, David. Anyway,
we love him. We really love him.
We love David. And David's the man, the Eagle Man, and he got you started now again.
Yes, we were
putting up cameras in Eagle's nests.
We're Hancock Wildlife, and what I really want to talk about today is the things that are ongoing, and it's kind of bringing people up to date. Last time we talked about where Hancock Wildlife came from. Today I'd like to just talk a little bit about what we're actually doing right now. The things that have been driving me crazy for the last week and actually for the last month or so. 2 years ago, David Hancock decided that we should put cameras out on the Chehalis Flats out by Harrison, the Harrison River, about 75 miles from here.
Well, there's eagles and there's
salmon. Eagles, there's salmon,
bears.
Yeah, there's bears up there.
Cougars too.
I haven't met any of those yet.
Rarely see
the point is that last year David counted over 2,500 eagles in one spot. Standing from one spot. He counted 2,500 in the sweep across the flats there. All of them sitting and eating the dead carcasses from the salmon that were spawning. Okay, and this is the middle of November. The Eagle Festival is, I believe, the weekend of the 22nd of November, but I better check on that.
Another 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, another 3 weeks. And so over the summer, 2 years ago, I had a set of solar panels and a camera and a radio transmitter and everything all hooked up in my backyard, batteries. This is what we were going to put out on the Chehalis last year. Okay, well, they lasted about 3 weeks. Even with the summer sun, there just was not enough power to power the camera, power the transmitter, and run it overnight during the summer when the nights are a lot shorter than they are in the winter. So
and you had direct sunlight.
Had direct sunlight, lots of sunlight,
like
lots
that,
of power
like
coming in. Over 150 watts of almost 200 watts of solar panels, and we were drawing about 25 watts, 30 watts of power. But we couldn't keep the batteries. In fact, I actually destroyed the batteries because they got down so low. So we were putting together this great big massive bank of 1,000 pounds of NiCad, industrial NiCad batteries, and I've got a generator that runs on propane. I was putting together all of the stuff to do remote start. And Dana Brown of FourStones.ca, Four Stones Limited, came along and donated us a fuel cell that is now,
which we've had on.
We've had this on. We'll put links up for it. We're at the point where tomorrow we are actually installing the base station radio and the base station computer out in the sewage pump house out at Eagle Point, and on Friday we're putting the cameras out. So we are actually going to be going out there. 3 weeks ago there was a helicopter involved. The people at Illuma Staging put together this 18, 20-foot high stage, 10 foot by 10 foot by about 20 feet high. That's all been put out there. It's been there for the last 3 weeks. Tomorrow, or Friday, we're putting the cameras up, and we should be up and running on the weekend. Now,
this is to look at the
eagles.
This
is to watch the eagles. There's 3 remote pan-tilt-zoom cameras that are going to be on that staging. We'll have some lights, so we can actually watch the eagles at night. A little bit of light, not a lot, a little bit. The cameras are really sensitive, so we don't need a lot of light. And we'll actually have some speakers on there so that we can tell whoever's climbing up and trying to break into the thing that they'd better not, because there's people all over the world watching.
Go away, yes.
So go away nicely or we'll call the police. It's been a really interesting project, and it's starting to come together. The biggest problem I've had is that we've got some older cameras that are network cameras, and we bought them when we were doing Windows Media. And the setup to make these run on a Windows Media distribution system works fine. Now we're using Flash. Adobe Flash Media is different from Windows Media, completely different. These cameras actually put out MPEG-4, which is it's a fairly good, fairly robust compression system for video. And turning MPEG-4 into Flash video file by file is something I do all the time. But turning it into Flash video in real time, well, even within a few seconds, so in real time with a live stream for 4 months on end, has proven to be a royal pain in the butt. I was right on the ragged edge of needing a straitjacket last Friday. David phoned me up and he says, "How's things going?" And I ranted at him just a little bit. So I took the weekend off and I'm back. I think we might actually be able to solve this, but it might not get solved before Saturday. But at least we'll have one camera, because the one camera, we have that one working. Anyway, it's been
well,
an
is this something where really you should just change cameras and not worry about the software for it?
Yeah, it would be nice, but you see, these are pretty expensive cameras.
Yeah.
Okay. The one that works is about $4,000. So buying another 2 more of those.
But wasting a week or 2 weeks of your time can be worth a lot more than that.
It can be worth a lot. Well, but it hasn't been worth that much because I don't charge them for all that time, because I should have known how to do it in a day, except that it's...
Oh, Richard,
anyway.
we've spent 20 years spending a week on something that
I've been hanging on the bleeding edge for so long.
Yes, there's not much left. No, it's so that's what's happening there. And are you going to then put a camera underwater to watch the salmon spawning?
The underwater camera is already in. It's been in for over a month now.
And what's it running on? The same thing? The same kind of
well,
fuel cell? Or?
No, because it's actually at the outfall from the Chehalis fish hatchery. We've got
so
power there. We didn't have to worry about that. And it's a standard composite video camera that's run into the back of a computer, and the computer does the encoding. So we don't have to worry about that either, because it runs Flash video. In fact, it's exactly the same encoder as we're using for you if you're watching right now. It's the little Adobe Free Flash Viewer or Flash Video Encoder. Okay. And we've got people, we have the local fishermen watch that. If they're going to go out fishing, they look at that to see what the water looks like and what kind of fish there are in there. And, there's a couple of tackle places that have it running live, and it's great. People love it. The fish, it's fascinating. It's like having your own live aquarium, except all the fish are different all the time.
Well, when you got something you can watch animals in the wild and where you wouldn't normally see them. Of course, it reminds me of the joke that I got on the internet today about the fellow who was on his honeymoon at a wild animal park. And apparently there was a very rampant elephant there. And
an amorous elephant.
An amorous elephant, and the fellow wrote and complained to Thomas Cook that this amorous elephant had made him feel inadequate.
Inadequate, yes.
It's amazing what will happen when you get this kind of stuff. Anyway, so Richard Pitt, my guest, is father of the internet. He and Stuart Lynn, his partner.
Oh, father of live streaming video today.
Father of live streaming video, yeah, because so let me just get this straight again. The live streaming video, the Eagles hatching 2 years ago was... No,
we're talking about the 2006 season.
So 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
That was the 40,000 people at the time watching. That was the
largest, longest live streaming production. We can't find anything else that has come close to it yet.
Well, didn't Pope John's address or something have more people?
And there's lots of things that have had. There's lots of things that have had hundreds of thousands of people watching now, but they're only for a couple of hours. They're like the Super Bowl and things like that. 40,000 streams for 4 months solid. I don't think there's going to be too many people wanting to do that.
And it was day and night. People
watched. Day and night they were watching because the audio was on. They could hear the birds hopping around in the trees, and they could hear the raccoons walk up the side of the tree right beside them, and it was fascinating.
Yeah, I like my raccoons. I got raccoons out here too.
I got